Hello, welcome to my channel. This is a project that I have been working on for a full year now. It is called the Christmas Blade. Well, it was originally called the Christmas Sword, but you'll see why that changed in this video. Due to a combination of technical difficulties and scheduling problems and so on and so forth, also just there being a lot of footage, I'm actually going to cut up my Christmas video into two videos. There's this one, which is just the first half or so, maybe a bit more, and then the next one, which will be out next week. Enjoy! Making a Christmas sword using a Christmas tree. Step 1. Murder the tree. I find it helps to dehydrate it. It's very hard for the tree to fight back. Step 2. Just like with real murder, you have to chop up the body. That's what this is for. Okay, now that you've chopped up the body, all that's left is to try and smoothen out the sides so that you can get a nice clean cut. Got that done. Also, at the top, the nubbin is so far off kilter that it wouldn't work. So my plan, the base down there is going to be actually where the handle is. It's going to be up there. The reason I want that side to be the handle is because I'm going to make it one solid piece, the handguard included. So I actually need the base to be, the side with the handle to be that much wider. So it needs to be the width of what I plan to be the handguard. Still undecided as to what style of sword. But it's not going to have a large enough handguard to be like a European style. It would be really difficult for me to make like a rapier out of one solid piece. Or at least not the kind of handguard that connects from the top to the bottom. So I might make a rapier. Probably gonna make a rapier. If not that, then maybe like a Japanese katana, though. I'd actually probably have to make it a bit shorter if I'm gonna do that. As I'll figure that out later. For now, it's smoothing out, and the next step is gonna take some time because I need to make a small box that I can screw this into, so that when I cut into it, it doesn't roll around. Okay, so now they're made. There's a few issues. Quick note, do not do as I do. For one thing, I ran out of screws that were the right length, so I started using nails which don't have the necessary grip to hold the thing together. This one was fine. You can see here, I was trying to make note of the size I would need. This I cut off of the nubbin in order to make sure that the smaller side would be held up high enough to get a straight cut. I actually made a mistake here. As you can see, I put the wood connection here when I was supposed to be like I had done over here. So I just got another piece and did that. The other thing I did wrong is I'm using garbage wood because I don't have really great wood right now, other than the tree. But, you know, make do with what you have, right? It doesn't need to be perfect. I just need it to hold it still and provide a flat base so the tree doesn't move. So this, more than good enough. Okay, I thought that I could do it with just the two small, like, half boxes at the top and the bottom. Then it occurred to me that I need it to be flat the whole time. So I added these extra little boards that hopefully will be enough to keep it still, or at least to keep it stable while I'm cutting. Oh yeah, another side note I just remembered. When I was putting the boxes together, I didn't have enough nails even, so I had to reuse some like old bent nails. Do not do as I do. I am not a professional and do not know what I'm doing. That's the current update. Hopefully, when I return, it'll be because I've successfully made a straight cut. We will see, though. While trying to prepare the thing to get cut, and I'm actually glad this happened because it means that I'm glad it happened now and not while I was doing the cutting. The box actually broke. So change of plans. I'm just gonna have to roughly use the. I'm just gonna have to use this instead and try and get it straight enough. Hopefully, I can make it so that during the sanding process it'll all come together. So I have come to the conclusion that I should be approaching this more like I'm carving a sculpture out of the wood, rather than trying to get a piece of lumber that I can then cut into a sword. The difference is that I'm just going to be cutting away layers until I get to where I want to be. And, yeah, we'll see how that turns out. There's definitely not going to be enough width to the sword to make, like... I already said I'm not going to make a European style, but there's a lot of... The width of it is kind of saying that there's a number of swords I'm not going to be able to make. Again, I'm probably going to go for a rapier. Something thinner. So it's probably going to be a really thin... It'll obviously have to be a little bit thicker than a standard rapier in order to not snap. But something as thin as I can get it. Long. And I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to handle the handguard. That's the plan for right now. Okay, I have done quite some work. The handle looking pretty nice. Might want to sand it down a bit more, but you know, it's a good size. As to the rest of the blade, okay, it's pretty good, pretty straight even, except here you'll see that it kind of bends a bit more. So my two options are either have this be the back, this be the cutting edge, and even then I'll still have to shave off a bit of the tip, or I can thin it down to make it more of a straight sword. So really the decision is whether or not I make a straight sword or a curved sword. I can actually make it a straight sword and lose that bit of length without it getting too long, because right now it is very tall. A little bit more tall than a sword normally would be. But not fully decided. Want to thin down the handle a bit more so my hand fits more comfortably. Maybe make it so it's more oval than circular. Okay, so I had tried to take a shortcut by using my table saw to cut off a large amount. Kind of regret it. I think I cut too deep, past that halfway mark. I'm going to try and compensate by when I'm thinning the handle by removing more from this side than this side. Another update. Thanks to the generous donation by Put Something Here, I now have another Christmas tree to work with. This one is a lot thinner, so there's a less usable surface or less usable wood. So I think that I'm going to use this to make a Christmas dagger to go along with the Christmas sword. I'm probably going to do that before finishing up this other one, because it's going to be a lot smaller and probably a lot faster. Also, this wood is not dried out yet, so it'll be easier to cut. So that's the plan. Okay, so here's where I am at with the Christmas dagger so far. I actually really like how it's turning out. Even more than the Christmas sword, in fact. Obviously, the handle needs a bit more shaping, but the blade is pretty much there. I just need to separate it from the handle a bit more. Going on pretty well. and got a good tip going on. Yeah, look at that. Anyways, so that's where I'm at with this. Just gotta shape the handle up, separate the blade, thin it out a bit more, then smooth it. I think I'm pretty much done with that. Then I can get back to the Christmas sword. Okay, it's been a while since I worked on either of these, so I'm kind of trying to refresh my memory. This is nearly done, but I want to see if I can't get to a sanding machine. I have this place I used to go to when I was learning blacksmithing, knife smithing. They have really good sanding machines, and yeah. I'm going to finish it off there using that. In the meantime, I'm gonna go back to working on this. I still feel like it's a bit disappointing how it turned out, but it's not too bad. Yeah, I guess it's one of those things where it's just a learning experience. Oh well, I'll just make it as good as I can. So, tragedy has struck. While thinning the blade down a bit, let me see right here, it snapped in half. The Christmas sword snapped in half. I'm currently trying wood glue. It's half dried right now. Worst comes to worst, there is a chance that a friend will be able to donate their Christmas tree. I don't really want to have to start from scratch, but I may have to. If I do, it's not the worst thing in the world. This was my first attempt. There's a few issues with it. Edge alignment is not the best. Symmetry could use some work. Also the transition from hilt to blade, which I was trying to fix slowly over time. So yeah, if I have to start over, not the worst, but I'm not really gonna be happy about it. Christmas dagger update. I got an official name for it, and I'm going to burn into it the name. This side is Seasons, this side is Tidings, and that's the name, Seasons Tidings. Probably shouldn't have drawn it on yet because I'm going to want to burn it after I smoothen it out, which I might have mentioned this before, but I'm going to go to a place with a proper industrial sanding thing to do that. But until then, I think this is a pretty good blade. So I might have to redraw it after that and then burn it, but that's where I'm at right now. Update for the Christmas dagger. It's about done. I'm trying to figure out what it would actually be called. The way the blade comes off the handle is kind of interesting. It kind of gives itself more to underhand stabbing more than anything. I want to clean up that a bit, and then this a bit. So we have to burn in Christmas Tidings and Davik on either side. I kind of want to give it a bit more of an edge, but the final shape is done. The sides have all been smoothed out. The shape and width of the handle is pretty optimal, actually. Really happy with how that came out. It's a little bit uneven here, so I might want to clean that up. That's really it. I could try and slim down the blade, but this is pretty much the optimal width, seeing as it's made of wood and I don't want it to like snap or anything. The blade didn't curve too much,
all in all, pretty happy. Comment down below if you know what I would call this style of a blade. The straight knife. When I bevel the edges, it's probably going to lose another, I don't know, like a few centimeters. Not a lot is going to go away, but it's going to be a little bit shorter. I rounded off the back of the handle, and yeah. Christmas tidings, the Christmas dagger.